So the timing worked out as such that we had maximum fear on Sunday night into Monday. Nvidia had the 1-day record market cap lost 500. Let me take this shit off. $580 billion in 1 day. Sort of bounced on the second day. And today, I'm not. Where's Nvidia today?
No bounce.
118,
really. I mean,
120.
it's 122, so not great, not terrible.
All right, so that's pretty momentous, and the entire media was just captivated by this story. People were asking the White House questions about this. Like, this has gone so far beyond just tech and stocks.
Oil down.
Like the ramifications of this could be military. But then we get Mag 7 earnings start to roll in, and we hear from Zuck. He says, this could be the first year, this could be the year rather, 2025, where 1 billion Meta users get their own personal assistant, AI assisted. Okay, we hear from Microsoft, they have zero intention of spending any less money this quarter than they already were gonna spend, and they kind of doubled down, which you're gonna tell us more about. We hear from Elon Musk, like within 5 minutes later, I listened to all of them, tell us, like without a trace of irony, that autonomous, the Optimus humanoid robot, could be 10 times bigger than the car business at Tesla. So I don't know what that really means for stock prices near term, but like nobody seems to be backing down and nobody seems to be like changing their mind, but they're all paying attention to this development. So talk us through that.
Yeah, look, it's a fourth industrial revolution that's playing out. And look, and we've talked about it for years, but now it's not even a question of if it's playing out, it's the pace and ultimately enterprise use cases, how quick that's going to happen, what physical AI, robotics, autonomous, and ultimately where this is all going. And I just view it as you have $2 trillion of AI CapEx the next 3 years that I essentially view as locked, cemented, that's going to happen.
That's a big number.
Now, just to put it in context, for every dollar spent on an NVIDIA chip, there's an $8 to $10 multiplier across the rest of tech and across the ecosystem, from software to infrastructure to data centers to energy to.
So 2 trillion becomes how much?
To go 2 trillion, ultimately, you start to look at it, that becomes a multiplier of 15 trillion when you actually start to look out over the next 10 years. So my view of this is
despite the energy intensity of training or inferencing.
But that's
still going to happen?
It's going to happen.
Because that's what's in doubt this week.
But that's why when you look at names like throughout the energy complex, and it's not a question of if it's going to happen, it's when it happens, at what pace.
Okay.
Because look, we're going through a point where if you have a 7-year-old, I arguably don't believe they might not even need to get a license. Like, in other words, like autonomous technology is coming. The fact that Musk is talking about in terms of Austin, June, you'll actually have unsupervised.
He said the cyber taxi unassisted starting
in June.
5 months.
Best case was December that it was going to happen, and most thought it wasn't happening until 2026. So it's another example of Tesla's one. You could look at it. Remember in the spreadsheet, oh, they're lowering number. That's bread at the restaurant. This is all about an autonomous AI story. When it comes to everything that happened this week with DeepSeek competition is going to happen whether it's China or US. These models are just the tip of the iceberg to where broader AI spend is going to go. And there's only one chip in the world.
You're saying they're all going to get cheaper?
They're all going to, look, if you look at semi prices a lot of times, like if you look at CapEx, like a lot of times price going down 50% every 2 years. So it's not about that things are not going to get cheaper. It's you're in the dugout of the first inning with overall AI spend.
Dan Ives surprises everyone with his shocking new take regarding the new DeepSeek AI and how it is going to affect Nvidia going into the future. Nvidia felt the tremors as its stock plunged dramatically, losing $600 billion in market value in a single trading session, a historic 1-day loss. But will this continue as Nvidia struggles to catch up to its former glory, or is winning guaranteed for a tech giant as Nvidia? Dan Ives answers the looming question. Welcome back to Investocracy.
So, as you talk about the white knuckle, the massive sell-off we took on Monday, in my opinion, in the last decade, outside of, I'd say probably COVID, March 2020, that will be looked upon as one of the best moments to buy tech, I think, in the last 4 or 5 years.
Were you surprised by the fact that within 24 hours of the markets being open, the stocks started to separate themselves? You started to see Apple and Meta rallying while Nvidia continued to sell off. I think a lot of investors, probably the people that you talk to, even professionals, they just assume that this is all one big AI trade.
100%.
But now there's a nuance. There are makers and there are takers. There are buyers of technology and sellers of technology. And these stocks are not all doing the same thing in the wake of this bomb that's
and
been
there's
dropped.
the non-LLMs. If you look at names like Palantir, like Carp's view is always like, we're not building LLMs.
Apple didn't build an LLM.
Okay. And then and then our view of Apple, and we've always talked about it, like the reason this is the consumer AI play, regardless of what units come in a given quarter, over the coming quarters, that the consumer AI revolution goes through Apple. 25% of the world, they're going to access AI through an Apple device. China, US, Middle East, regardless of what it is. So Apple ultimately benefits. That's why the reason Apple...
Wait, why do they benefit? Because now the same technology is cheaper and it could be used on an edge device like a phone?
Because ultimately it's going to be an app.
So
and
the
apps
App Store
have to go through Apple. And then you think about 1.5 billion iPhones in the world, 2.3 billion iOS devices. Apple is a vehicle for consumers on the AI front.
Josh, tell them your theory. You had a good one.
Which one?
About why Apple bounced, because they didn't go all in on the AI spend.
Well, that seemed to be the narrative that was forming. Like, wait. Nvidia's crashing, Broadcom's crashing, AMD, Microsoft is down, Sam Altman's panicking, blah blah blah. Why is Apple rallying? So the theory that people had coalesced around was that, well, they looked like they were playing from behind until yesterday, and now they look like they very studiously sat out the first round so they could win in the second round.
Okay, so I think I would agree.
Did I invent that?
No,
or?
I think there's nuance. I think some are right, some in terms of the first round they lost, second round they win. I agree with. I think the CapEx piece I disagree with, because I think the reason Apple route from investors that I was talking to that was calling is that it's because it's viewed as like they're number one in the App Store, and all of a sudden the light bulb went off. US or China?
DeepSeek was number one in the App Store.
Because guess what? Apple, I believe it's going to ultimately be an incremental 10, 12, 15 billion per year of services.
So they're like the toll booth.
They're the toll.
So it doesn't matter if Perplexity beats Gemini and DeepSeek.
Apple gets paid either way.
Apple, if you're not in the App Store and you're not paying Apple, you're not relevant.
While OpenAI's model costs approximately $60 to generate 1 million tokens, DeepSeek claims an impressive $2.19 for the same output. However, alongside its praises, DeepSeek faces accusations of distillation, essentially leveraging larger models like those of OpenAI to train its own. This, if true, could tarnish DeepSeek's credibility, casting doubts on their innovation claims. But before going on with the video, are you into cryptocurrency? If so, check out our second channel, Investocracy Crypto. We bring you breaking news, expert analysis, and the latest trends in the fast-moving world of digital assets. Whether you're a seasoned crypto investor or just curious about the future of finance, we've got something for you. Click the link in the description to subscribe to Investocracy Crypto now. Don't miss out and stay ahead of the game. Now, let's get back to the video.
Right now, it's got a higher multiple than Nvidia.
Well, Nvidia,
I would think Nvidia has a bit of a higher growth rate.
Well, let's see what happens when Jensen Huang meets with President Trump today.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to change the growth rate of Nvidia, but
well, I mean, maybe they're going to get rid of the friend, not friend rules that Biden put in at the last hour, where there was no consultation whatsoever with Jensen Huang, who by the way, is one of America's greatest companies. But you don't like on a Saturday night do that.
No, although the response to DeepSeek has been interesting. Some say actually it's a sign that we should be even tighter on the chip supply as opposed to.
Well, in fact, and there's some wire stories this morning about some pressing the White House to be tougher, at least on Nvidia.
There are. I think that the White House is actually a little less hardline than people think. I think that the White House wants to hear. The White House is trying to figure out: did DeepSeek get 100,000 high-end chips
Singapore
from Singapore
or wherever.
And I posted yesterday on X. Absolutely not. That there's just no evidence whatsoever, according to NVIDIA, that they diverted them from Singapore. I think they're in a jam. If they say, look, the reason why DeepSeek really they had access to 100,000. It's not like they made. Okay, I got an analogy for you. All right, so you have a juicer that can make 10 glasses of orange juice out of an apple, of an orange.
An apple
That'd be
with
incredible. That's what Jensen's doing. No, 10 glasses. That's a mistake. They can make 10 glasses of orange juice out of one.
Okay.
And or you can make you have 10 juicers and you just get one glass. So do you really need to pay for 10 juicers? You can just buy DeepSeek.
Understood. Right.
And that's the worry.
That is the worry. Listen, I think there any number of people now have weighed in saying the efficiencies they were able to come up with, the techniques they used, whether it's reinforcement learning or this mixture of experts, things are certainly our software engineers are well aware of and have used, but that they did a good job and that they did plow new ground. That said, they also a lot of people have weighed in now on the cost differential and saying it really is not large between the models here and the model, what they were able to do. And ultimately, I think many believe that chip demand will be unchained.
Despite the initial turmoil, NVIDIA's spokesperson acknowledged DeepSeek as an excellent AI advancement. While NVIDIA's initial dip raised eyebrows, the tech community, and mainly Dan Ives, know that the ultimate goal remains artificial general intelligence. The associated technologies, from autonomous vehicles to robust robotics, promise profound shifts in industries worldwide. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Now, on the chip front, I mean, again, Darius Amodei, the guy who runs Anthropic, came out with a piece, I think it was earlier this week, I read it, saying we got to be even tougher on China. We cannot let them be our equal. And that's another thing that we do understand from DeepSeek.
Although Jassie's post last night, DeepSeek R1 now available on AWS.
Unbelievable. I'm most closely concerned that when Amazon reports, they say, you know what, we are going to slow NVIDIA, or we're going to go to AMD, which they're not using for this kind of thing. I think they're going to stay with their friendly relationship with Jensen, but that's what the bears are telling me. Okay, so here's uses that DeepSeek can't do, okay, that you can do on Blackwell, all right? Multimodal memory, spatial intelligence, physical actuation, vision, and touch. So those are the things that you need Blackwell for. That's
all robotics, right?
Well, yes, but that matters tremendously.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it for that.
Right.
Unless they get the highest end chips.
Right. So, I mean, look, you want it to play Jeopardy. I don't want it to play. I don't want it to be. It plays a great game of checkers, but NVIDIA is a grand master. Kasparov.
In chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chess.
Yes,
Grand master.
Yes.
That's who NVIDIA is. Grand master. And the president is going to like him, and I think they're going to come out, and he's going to say whatever is good for NVIDIA is good for America. This is why I like NVIDIA. It's a recognition that it is a new industrial revolution. Anybody who's in it is worth a lot more than the people that aren't. Look, I'm sure that when they discovered the cotton gin and you're a weaver, you're saying, you know what, that's ridiculous. What?
Oh, no, I'm not making faces.
Oh, the cotton gin?
I'm making faces at our executive producer. I don't limit my faces just to
the
you.
The steam engine, remember the steam engine? Or are you still like in the wheel and the pulley? You in the wedge? You're in the wedge.
Robert Fulton, who invented it?
He's shocked
All
at the
I know
wedge.
is Eli Whitney and the cotton gin.
Eli Whitney's cotton gin. Robert Fulton was the steam engine. Is that right?
Good.
He's buried right here. I walk by him all the time.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
While DeepSeek's emergence has shifted dynamics, NVIDIA's foundational strength and strategic adaptability shine brightly. The quest for AGI is far from over, and with NVIDIA's persistent evolution, it stands poised to remain a formidable force in the tech industry. But what are your thoughts on NVIDIA and DeepSeek's impact on the AI sector? Share your thoughts. Finally, if you would like to know what companies like NVIDIA have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.